In school, you just get the education, you get everything in the books, and the books tell you this, and you expect this to happen. But if you go out there and you're working and you have an assignment, you have a task, and you're looking at it, and it goes completely different. It's always the same thing. So what we do with FMN Young right now is just trying to decrease the gap between the work field and the education. So eventually, when you finish your study, the transition should be easier to go to work because you know what to expect.
Welcome to Connected FM, a podcast connecting you to the latest insights, tools, and resources to help you succeed in facility management. This podcast is brought to you by IFMA, the leading professional association for facility managers. If you're ready to grow your network and advance in your career, go to ifma.org to get started. Today, host Laurens Lamberts engages with young professionals at World Workplace Europe 2024 to discuss their experiences transitioning from students to facility management professionals. Together, they share insights on the importance of networking, leveraging opportunities from events like the Student Challenge at World Workplace Europe, and navigating the expectations of the professional world. The discussion highlights both the challenges and the rewards of starting a career in facility management, as well as offering advice to current students on how to bridge the gap between education and the workforce. Now, let's get into it.
Welcome to this kind of podcast and discussion that we're going to be having with young professionals from the facility management industry. And today we're at World Workplace Europe 2024, and we'd love to have this discussion with you guys, especially because we feel that, as you were here last year to part in the Student Challenge, we would love to kind of hear your input about how to make that transition from being a student to now going into the work field for the first time, really, for you guys. So I'm wondering, my first question probably is, how was that kind of transition? Was that something that you felt comfortable with? Did you feel prepared, or did you feel like this was still something that took a lot of figuring out?
Yeah, I think that participating in the Student Challenge last year was really a key point in the kind of young career we have. We did it, we are two from Belgium, and we did it with a group, and we won then, and it gave us a lot of opportunities after that. Also, if I want to look for a job, it was also really fast. I got a lot of offers in the first weeks, and I think I decided on 8 days where I want to work. Was people were calling, texting. Participating on events like this give me a lot of opportunities for the future. It's very important to do that. You network here a lot. You met a lot of people. We went then also to Denver last year. You see a lot of familiar faces again here. And it's very nice to be back, but also to see what the future can bring. Every time you can hear, there can maybe have some new opportunities after that, because some people have that or that. And for me, it was like the key point that changed my FM career.
Right, okay, that's great feedback. So thanks very much. Do you share that kind of experience?
Yeah, I had the same, and I share the knowledge with the others, with the networking and the insights from different people.
Right.
When I get to the work field, it was like I have the basics from FM, but being in the work field, I learned so much about my new connections and trainings and stuff like this. So, yeah.
Right, so kind of that combination, perhaps, your education, that's the theory behind everything. You've had this experience kind of looking around what the future might hold for you as an employee, and then making that transition and being kind of trained in that way. Is that kind of the way I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, that's great to hear. Again, feedback. Is the experience similar this year at World Workplace for you guys?
Yeah, this year is a bit different because last year we thought, we are new in the business and who are all the people that are around here. But now you see, a lot of people come say hi and recognize us from the last year or from Denver. And it's a bit more chill for us. We know here a lot of more people, and we can have a chat with a lot of people. Also, we slept in the same hotel, they're at the bar, a drink, and it's very nice to see them and that they recognize us also. And I see that there are a lot of more students this year, so I'm glad to be here also. And this year they were 24. Last year we were just with 8 or 9, I think. This is a big difference, and that means that for the young students it's very a unique chance, and that they take the chance. There are a lot of teachers here, there are a lot of schools here with students, and that make it really important. It's a job that's not really common with a lot of people. I need to tell to my family sometimes what is just FM. And I studied it for 4 years, and if you see then here that there are a lot of young people, a lot of professionals who talk with the young people, I think we make a good move to make it a bit broader and a bit more common in the living of the people.
Right, because I think kind of establishing that bridge between people studying and people working is very difficult to do sometimes because people are so focused on what they're just studying or they're working, right? So having kind of that bridge feed
Yeah.
and to be able to use that, I think that's a very valuable resource.
Yeah, events like this are, denk ik, a very good bridge to do that
Yeah.
kind of things. You see the students are networking also. It's not that they're just working on the student challenge, but they are connecting with people. They go to listen to that speaker or to the creative lab. And that made the bridge, in an ideal bridge, I think,
Yeah.
for starting your career right here.
From a student, I'm this year participating in the student challenge. This is my first time being at workplace.
Right.
So it was actually very nice that the way that we were welcomed, you walk in and everyone just gives you a big hug. It's great how you have that bridge, but
Right.
also to see how many different bridges there are within facility management. And I think that that has opened my eyes during these past day and a half, 2 days. Yeah.
Great to hear.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
for sure.
Is that a similar experience for you?
Yeah, so I'm also still a student, but I started last year when we went to Denver. One of the students that got selected to go to Denver as well. That's where it all kicked off for me. So I started networking, I started meeting the right people, I started talking with people who were already in the professional work field. And it was a really learning full experience. So before I went to Denver, but to be honest, I didn't have any clue what FM truly was.
Yeah.
And after I came back, I was like, okay, I'm interested. I know what I want to do. I know I want to do this. So I started networking more, and eventually, well, now I'm on the board of FMA Young. I'm able to combine it with my study. I'm working as a refugee at a refugee shelter for Ukrainians as a location manager, also facility management. And these conferences and stuff, I just do them on the side to increase my network, keep going, and just keep growing, because I think that's the way to go now. And things like these, they open doors for you, and you just have to take the chance, because otherwise it's really difficult to get higher up.
Right. And it's good to hear that that made you that there was a moment where you felt that kind of click.
Yeah.
This is what FM means to me. Do you remember what that moment was? Was it like a lecture, or was it somebody you talked to?
The thing was, like, I was the youngest over there, and I remember walking in, I was like, okay, these guys, they did all the things that I wanted to do. And then you start talking to people, and even the biggest guys in the work field, they stay humble. That's the thing that was like, okay, you know what? You have so many companies, well, you've done it all, you've made it all, and they still say to me, yeah, you're a student, I want to teach you how I did it. Then I was like, okay, it's a different mindset that I'm used to, because I explored different areas. But for me, the point that I was like, okay, this is what I want to do, was the moment when I walked there and I saw people speaking for a couple, well, hundreds, even 1,000 people. And I was like, okay, I'm interested. That's my kind of work I want to do in the future as well. So, you know, let's do it. Let's give it a try and let's see how far it goes. And until now, it's going in the right direction, I think.
Yeah, I think how more you come, how more it feels like a bit of family. Yeah, it is not that they're not more strangers anymore.
No.
We are not strangers for them, but it's in the other way also. And I think everybody is so friendly and so kind that it feels like a bit of family to come back. I said it to Rani. I worked until 7, and then I said, yeah, we take a car, we come to here, and it's just enjoying every moment to be here and to be glad to be back, and then see everyone back also, because we don't see each other often. It's very international. You're people from the States, Sweden, Denmark, from everywhere. But when we see each other, it feels like a bit, coming home, coming back to each other, and to connect and to chat with what's about the past few months of what have you done there, or what was it there. And yeah, it feels just like a good sign to be here.
Right, great. We've been very positive so far, which is good, which is of course a great way to start off. Were there also any difficulties when you're making that transition, when you're a student and you're graduated and you're very happy, of course, but now you have to look for a job? Were there any difficulties in that transitional period for any of you guys?
For me, it was a little bit of easy because I did my internship and then I get the offer to work there. So it was an easy transition. Yeah, thank you. But the way of working in the business was a little bit difficult because they all were all kind of things that you didn't expect. And that was difficult, but it's a challenge and I love challenges. So yeah, I'm growing and...
Yeah, good. So you're saying kind of like the transition from the expectations that people have of you, maybe?
Yeah, they expect you know it all. You did the education and it's like, no, I don't know it all. I still need to learn. I have a colleague who's been, I think, 30 years in the business, just a student. So the connection because of the experience and the knowledge is a good way of working. And we learn from each other.
And that's, you say just a student, and to me that sounds like somehow there's a kind of like a difference between the two of you. But I think the way you end, that you learn from each other and that you kind of share your different points of view. I think that's especially valuable.
Yeah.
Did you have a similar transition from internship to work, or did you find a job?
I worked a few months in my internship just because I have in my last year just my master's thesis and the internship. And then I was looking for a job, but after this one, it was really, I loved it to be here, but the people expected a lot and they saw it that we won here and that you did that. And that was a bit, it make it easier to search for a job, but also difficult because they think, you can, like Rani said, we are just students that have the theory in the classes and now you need to combine it with the practice side. And that makes it a bit difficult because in theory, all the things are going well and not bad. And now you see, I work for a company and I'm there with the team responsible for 9 buildings in Belgium and then 1,100 cars because we had a lot of technicians on the road. And you see every day there are problems. And not the problems that you see on the classes, on the theory. And that makes it a bit difficult to see how can I manage that or how can I do that because you see all the good things. And for me, it was a bit, I'm glad that I'm there. I'm now there for 7 months, I think. But it's a bit, every day I'm learning, searching for new things. Can we develop that better or is it maybe that an option to do for the company? But it's not that easy to save and I'm graduated and now I'm searching for a job. Because FM is so broad, you can go to the left, to the right, to the middle. And there are so many options and then you need to see what you really want. Do you want to go to the left? Fine. And if it's not the good thing, then you go to the right. And that makes it also nice that you have, if I'm done now, there are a lot of opportunities next and the other direction. But you need to see that for you and it's not easy as a student to know that, to what you want. Because you see from all the things a bit, but not a lot from all the things.
Right.
And then to now we see we have both a different job, but now we see more the details, more the bigger thing. And then I think to do that, you see now I want to do that or the soft to hard facilities or another direction, more event management, that kind of things. And that are the things that you learn from working and not from studying.
Yeah.
Hey FMs, get ready for an unforgettable experience and amazing networking opportunities at this year's World's Workplace Conference and Expo on October 9 to 11 in San Antonio, Texas. Don't miss our must-attend welcome reception where the fun kicks off with a fiesta-themed party. Attend our Explore FM event, meet new faces at the First Timers reception, and connect with future leaders at the Student and Young Professional reception. Plus, enjoy professional networking throughout the expo hall, educational sessions, and networking group activities. World's Workplace is one of the best ways to connect with experts in the industry and grow your professional network. Register today at worldsworkplace.ifma.org. See you there.
Are there any worries for those that don't have a job yet or are still studying? Are there worries about the process of making that transition? Or do you have a clear idea of what you think you would like to end up doing?
Well, the thing is, like I said, I'm part of the FMA Young board. And what we try to do is that exactly the transition shouldn't be so big as people expect. Because the problem, like Mathias said, is in school you just get the education, you get everything in the books, and the books tell you this, and you expect this to happen. But if you go out there and you're working and you have an assignment, you have a task, and you're looking at it, and it goes completely different. It's always the same thing. So what we do with FMA Young right now is just trying to decrease the gap between the work field and the education. So eventually, when you finish your study, the transition should be easier to go to work because you know what to expect. So I think if there are possibilities to decrease the gap, like I said, between education and the work field, but besides that, you have to be able to do it on your own. Because we offer you help. We try to, get our students and tell them, explain to them what we do, but still it's very on your own if you really want to do it.
Yeah.
You have to be motivated. You have to make the decision if you're going for that side of the road, because otherwise, if you're like, no worries, we'll do it by ourselves, I think the transition will be bigger than when you.
Yeah, that's also the thing that we decided last year to go. You need to make that step. Yeah, from a student, it's not that easy to say, I come to a conference where there are 500 people around the world and I have come to say hi.
Exactly.
It's not that easy that people think. I think the education in Belgium is almost 30 years but I think we are one of the first that were here. And you need to make that step and you need to decide, what do I really want by myself? Yeah. If I'm fine, do it, just a job that doesn't need to be international, doesn't need the people, it's also fine. But if you want this one, you need to make a few decisions and make a big, you made steps around the the period that you're studying. And yeah, I think it's very important that you decide what you want. And it's fine for people that they do what they do, but I love it to do here and to see all the people back. And that was also the reason that we did it last year. We came here and we said to each other, what are we going to do now? Who are all these people?
Yeah.
Who are they? And now we are here and we said, yeah, we can to say all of the people hi and yeah, we are back. And yeah, is that what you want? Fine. But like Chris said in Belgium also, and we have IFMA Young Belgium, it's the same thing. And we need to connect the professionals with the young students, because we have normally in April we should have an event that professionals connect with the students, like a kind of speed dating, to see, yeah, who are they? What did they do? Because a lot of people didn't study FM, but how do they roll into that? How do they manage that? And what do they expect from the students?
Right.
Because we talk always about Gen Z, but it's not, we need to, like Rani said, work together. I have also, my manager is 20 years older and his manager are also 10 years older.
Yeah.
But we have meetings that everyone has his input. Everyone has his own opinion. And it's not that some opinion is wrong or some opinion is right. You need to see, why do they say that? Or why do they think that's right? And then you can do a combined solution that fits for the project that you're working on or for the project that you're working on. And that's, I think you need to see what people really want.
Yeah, everyone is an individual, so you have to listen to each other, and that's the communication you have with each other to work good.
I think as a student, for me, who is not in the board, I haven't thought about that, to be honest. I am a second year student. I have just gone through the first semester of second year. First year is like, oh, it's new, it's exciting, you know? And the second year is, okay, here we are again. But for my third year, I'm going abroad for my minor and my internship. And I'm not thinking about what happens after that.
Right.
So I'm so focused on the next step in my education that I do not think about jobs per se. But when I got here, and actually to see the companies over here showcasing what their product is, so showcasing their solutions, what they do, how they approach it, what their goal is, it makes you start to think like, maybe I want to do something like that. Maybe I want to make information systems. Maybe I want to create water with caffeine in it, for instance. It actually opens up your eyes so much to, as I mentioned before, to see what else is out there. And that also is the first step to thinking what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how it is in school for you, but facility management is very broad. But it's impossible to talk about all of the single aspects of facility management. And this is one of the things that can show to you what some examples, the bigger examples. And I think that's very nice. And I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, as I mentioned, I didn't really think about it yet.
I think you need to take the time to develop you in every step you take and every chance you want to take. But it's important, if you want to do some things like this, that you take all the chances you get. But you don't need to be in a hurry or in a run. You have time. The study is almost 1.5 years from now. And you need to take that time to develop yourself and to see in what direction that I want. Because if you say today, I want to do this one, it can be totally different in 1.5 years. And I think it's very important that we did it also. You need to take the time to step by step and not skip them.
Maybe.
Yeah, and not skip them. And you need to enjoy the events like this and the chances you get. And like FM and Young also, you need to come back to the events, and you have organizations like EuroFM, IFMAC. In the Netherlands, there are a lot of more organizations than we have in Belgium. But if you take your own time to do this kind of things, I think the future look good. And you know them, you know the people, and the people don't forget you. It's the same with us. They don't forget who you are. Because the students or the young professionals are the important ones for the future. Because now they have a career, but yeah, at one time they are going to retire also. And they need to have the young professionals a bit, not to follow them up, but to make the process ongoing. And then if you take your time, everything will be all right.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sorry if I interrupt, but the thing is, like, once a student goes to like a conference or anything, they realize how much value it has for their future. But the point of getting them to go to the conference, that's the thing that we're struggling
And that's my
with.
point as well. That's what
Exactly,
I wanted to finish your
So-
thought, yeah.
That's a big bump.
Like, the reason you're here is probably because you're participating in the student challenge.
Yes.
Exactly. Because you signed up for something and you have to be here also for the end results and stuff.
Yeah.
What we've been noticing, if we go to a student and we say, okay, you know what, we have a conference and we will be able to get you a ticket. It's super interesting. It's perfect for your future. You can increase your network, everything. They'll be like, yeah, I'm in my second year. I've still got some time. I'll come later. Because that's how they think. They're like, yeah, I'll do those things in my last years, right before I start working. But when you're beginning your last year, then the transition isn't going to change. So that's what we're trying to do, especially the first year, the second year, third year students. They have to go to those conferences. They have to increase the network before it's not too late. But
I think
so
that
we can make a difference
it's
between
also
the
important
transition.
that we have the schools with that process also, because if you see it in Belgium, we have two organizations, IFMA and Belfa, and there is a class at the school in Ghent that they need to participate 1 or 2 events a year from one of these organizations to see what we are doing with IFMA, to see what we are doing with Belfa. It's the same with you, FMN, EuroFM. You have a lot of organizations. But I think it's not only the students, but it's the bigger thing. We need to have the teachers with us, because if the teachers not believe in the process of the thing what IFMA is doing, then why are the students want to come? I have a class, I think 3 months ago at Odyssey, and I'm the first one, I think in 15 years, we'll talk about IFMA. And if you see how big it's here, it's a bit strange that they don't know it, because I told them, are you aware of what IFMA is doing?
They have no clue.
Yeah, not also the big thing, because it's unique, but we have in every country a chapter, and they said no. And that's a bit the point where you are having in Belgium the problem. It's not that popular. People don't know what we are doing. And how do they come to the events? And exactly, the entrance for students is always free, and they can come and they can have a drink and have something to eat. But like you said, the step to making it from the class to coming, like I can give 7 classes about IFMA, but then the students need to come by themselves. I cannot pick them up and say we are going together.
And
from
a teacher's point of view, that's definitely something that I'm thinking about a lot, right? So how do I actually convince my students that this is something valuable to them? So that might be a nice follow-up question. So how do we actually get students in touch with IFMA, EuroFM, all these organizations, associations? And how do we lower that kind of barrier that you guys are talking about? Because the classroom is safe after a while. When you start year 1, it was scary, right? The classroom, new people, but then after a while, you're used to that. And then they start talking about the next step, which is internships, or which is going to these kinds of like events, right? Or maybe even joining some kind of youth association. So how do we make that kind of barrier a bit lower, like easier to break
so
through?
what we're trying to do now from FMN Young is we try to get in contact with different schools, and we offer them to do like a reading or something to explain to FM students what is IFMA, what is FMN, what is EuroFM. Just explain it to them. Just let them know that it's there, because a lot of students, like Mathias said, they have no clue what it is. If you go to a facility manager student and you ask them what's IFMA, they'll look at you and they have no clue.
They probably know what it stands for, but that's it. That's most, because it has, for me at school, it has been mentioned. But the opportunities, I had to, a classmate told me like, hey, this might be fun for you. You should sign up. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. But it didn't come directly from the school. And also in my school, I'm doing the international facility management course. When I tell Dutch students that I am going here, they're like, how did you do that? They don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
And
but that's the point. It's not difficult to get here.
No,
That's
no,
it.
I don't. I think they need some mentorship for examples also.
they need to be made
something,
aware.
Perhaps, or
And
they
that-
just need an
yeah.
explanation.
They
Perhaps
are
they just
not
need to
aware
know
yet.
what it is and what values it has for them.
Yeah, exactly. They just
And that's the
they
point that's
don't know that
missing.
it exists. They're not aware of the opportunities that you can get and how you can get in.
Right.
And that's maybe something that, I don't know, maybe it has to change or changes can be made. But the first step is to have everyone, if city management know about these conferences.
Mm-hmm.
And
I saw it also after the class that I give to the students in Belgium. After that, I think there were 6 or 7 students at the next event of IFMA, and they want to see it. And it's like a good thing. We won it, and it was for the school, very good thing. And they want to promote it, and it's fine for me. But if we can do something, I think the people that just are graduated, they are very important to do it also for the students,
that's
because
what I wanted
we
to
are
talk about
also
too.
very young people, and we know them, and we were on the same process as them. And like after that, also people text me on LinkedIn van, how can I get to the next Christmas party from IFMA in Belgium? How can I get to do this one? Like here also, there is one student from Belgium also that not do the student challenge, but they want to come because they hear the story, they hear what we can do, what IFMA and the organizations can do, and what something like this is for your career or something for the future. So I think it's not only the professionals and the schools that are very interesting or that they need to participate, but also the people the next year that graduated, just 1, 2, 3 years graduated, we have the same process as them.
Yeah.
And now we can see, I know how they feel. The first step to come, it was very difficult to say, now I book a hotel and I'm leaving. And we know the feeling, and then we can say, yeah, maybe it's also good for you.
Yeah.
And you need to do it because it's not scary, because everyone is friendly, everyone is kind, and you can do a lot of things with it. And I think it's a lot of groups together to make the young people come to here also. It's not just the schools or not just the teachers or the professionals. I think it's combining all by
Combination of
themselves.
all
Yeah.
of them, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And if I can put on my teacher hat for just a second, as well as chair of education, like my main role is trying to get you guys here, right? Trying to convince people. So you can imagine sometimes there's a bit of frustration on my end that I think this is such a great event and there's so many people here who leave with such a positive feeling that I wonder why doesn't just every student want to go. And so it's good to hear that you say, okay, maybe perhaps we can play a role in that, because I'm 27 years old. I'm not that old yet, but even I feel kind of the difference between teacher student. Like if a teacher says something to a student, it feels far away, distant, somehow not related or connected to them, right? But if they listen to a student, or maybe young professionals just started working, that comes much closer. So I think if you guys do play a role in that and give those presentations or lessons, like you said, I think that's a super effective way of getting people here and to share in the same opportunities that you guys have now, or that you've had last year.
Yeah, and I think like what Chris is with FM Young and we with Young IFMA Belgium, I think that's also very important. We have the bigger organization, FMN and IFMA, but also, yeah, they start with the young teams to also connect the young professionals or the students with the really professionals. And I think that's very important what he does, what we do, to connect each other and then to see, hey, but Tom is speaking, Tom Rijkaard from Crocus is speaking here 2 times. He's coming also to here. We know them. Maybe it's interesting to go. And then they see we are here back. And then I think it's a lot, if you know that the people are interesting and they want to listen and they want to help you, like now is everybody, finishing their last tests in Belgium. They send all the surveys to fill in and we help them also. Yeah, it is. And we help them and we hope also that it's a bit a win for the both. We want to see them here, but we want to get them here also. And like, for a teacher it's not that easy, but I saw well after the class that I give, the people just came next to me, sitting, have a chat. Can we talk about that? How was that experience? Yeah, because we went to the States, how was that? So kind of things. It was just, there was not a big distance between us. It was just, they were 1 year younger than me. Because it was just like friends. And that's indeed very
So-
important.
Conclusion, if you're watching this, come to IFMA. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. And as always, please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for more incredible content.